It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga.
And today we're going to talk about the very excellent, long, but excellent AEW Revolution 2023 pay-per-view from the Chase Center in San Francisco, the Bay Area. Now, Smiley, what do you think about the show overall? And was it worth the $49.99?
It was $49.99?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, I kind of came in like an hour. I kind of came in literally when the three-way started. I just came from work. But from what I saw on was pretty awesome. Even people even people I wasn't really that big on were having like great matches. I'm not the biggest Hangman fan, but that Texas Death Match was really, really good.
This is one of the best AEW shows all year. Well, this is the first AEW pay-per-view of 2023, but of the last calendar year, it's probably the best AEW pay-per-view in quite some time. And top to bottom, the show was excellent. You know, from the buy-in until the actual main card, 5 hours total almost. That's a little bit too long, especially for the live crowd. But that being said, the live crowd for this show on fire the whole night. The entire night, this crowd was rabid. And I don't know where they're getting the stamina from. Maybe it's the California sun. I don't know what it is. But they seem to enjoy this show top to bottom. At least from just analyzing the audience, it was not a dull moment for them at all. Like, everything got a pretty damn good reaction, in my opinion. And I really enjoyed the show watching from home. But we can talk about some of the matches. I know you missed this, but Jericho and Ricky Starks kicked off the show. Excellent. Very simple, right to the point, and Ricky got a big win, and the crowd
Ricky
loved
beat
it.
Him?
Yeah. Yep.
He beat him?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn. I don't remember last time that kind of thing happened.
It was great. He beat him before.
He did? Oh, yeah, he did.
Yep.
Okay. I thought, it's like he beat him. I thought he was going to, he got a win and then Jericho would get his win later. But like that, wow, shit, that didn't happen? That's awesome.
Yeah, he did get a win, and then Jericho beat him again, but a lot of heat, a lot of interference, all that stuff. But this was like the rubber match rematch, and it was great. And it was Jericho is still great, 33 years in, and he is unbelievable. That DDPY stuff really helped him. And Ricky, he's the sky's the limit for him. He's fantastic, and I really like the spot towards the end because JAS was banned from ringside, right? So Sammy Guevara walks down, and out of nowhere comes Action Andretti and tackles them to the ground, and the crowd went crazy. It was cool. It was really, really cool. This was a really good show. What else happened after you left? Well, before you got home, let's see. Well, the women's match, the three-way. You saw that, like, right?
No, yeah, I came in like right at I think in the middle, or like right kind of like when it started. I missed the entrances, but I pretty much came in then.
Right. Oh yeah, you missed Christian and Jungle Boy.
Very live match.
That was really good. It was really good. They did a great job. It was bloody, it was violent, and it was exactly what it was supposed to be. And it was right to the point. That's the theme of the show. Remember last year when we talked about Jade Cargill and Ty Conti for the TBS title, how simple it was, how right to the point it was, and Eddie Kingston and Jericho. It was very simple, and this show was that, just improved upon. Everything was right to the point. And you had the 60-minute Ironman match that, definitely doesn't allow you to have much time, but everyone did great. And this Buried Alive match was, I don't know what's going to happen with Christian after this, because he threw him in the coffin, and the coffin sunk to the ground, and
put him
smoke
6 feet
came
under.
Yeah. So I don't know what happens after this.
He's probably gonna come back as the new Undertaker. Imagine.
Who knows? You know what was funny? This made me laugh. So there was a sign in the crowd that said, "Where's Edge?" I mean, it was great.
Because Edge was because there was rumor that Edge was gonna come to AEW at some point.
Well, yeah, he said in that 24 they did on him a couple of years ago that he talks to AEW. Just heard Tony Khan out, and just But I thought it was funny because whoever put the sign up was really just trying to be funny. That's what kind of makes it funny, because he's trying to be funny, because we all know that Edge is literally on the other channel. Literally. He's in a big program leading into WrestleMania. So it's not like Edge. It would be funnier if Edge. Well, what made it funny is the fact that we all know Edge is still active, right? But if Edge wasn't active at all, we haven't seen him since 2011, since he retired initially. Okay, but like, he's literally on the other channel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, the guy was like
he's trying to be funny.
No, that's what makes me. It made me think about. Oh, Edge, he almost won to AEW.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about this match? Even though you didn't see it when you were out, but it was because matches like these, gimmick matches like these, it's very easy to overthink it, but not at all.
And AEW's done that before.
Yeah, as we saw with the exploding barbed wire match. But
oh god, yeah,
right. But even though I liked the match, but the finish was whatever that was, but it was right to the point. It was simple, and think about all the things that Christian has been saying about Jungle Boy's family and him, his father, for the past couple of months. So this made perfect sense to do a match like this, and Jungle Boy went nuts because he channeled, like, what John Cena didn't do to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. Jungle Boy did that to Christian. He did the concerto to him, and then threw him in the coffin. Oh my god, it was great. It was so good.
Oh yeah. No, they teased that on Dynamite, but then he kind of hesitated.
Yep.
And then he destroyed him. When I told you about that funny moment, yeah, like that exact segment when Christian beat up Jungle Boy. I was watching it with Dad, and like Dad pointed out that when they zoomed in on Jungle Boy's face, I don't know, Dad swore that he saw Jungle Boy mouth, "Don't zoom in on the blade. Don't zoom in on the blade," and like to the camera. Because I was thinking, it was funny because like when that happened, I was thinking to myself like, "Oh God, don't zoom in on him blading," and like I was joking, but then he actually heard him say that. He actually saw him say that. It was kind of funny. But other than that little goofy thing, like their program is great, and I'm glad Christian's back. I thought he was injured. I was a little worried again, but I'm glad he's back.
Trios titles match, Elite and House of Black. What'd you think of this?
Oh no, I didn't see that at all either. I literally came. That was like before the 3-way. I pretty much came in like when I missed only like 3 matches. Like,
oh right. Okay.
That was one of the 3.
This match was great. It was really good, and it was very athletic. And what made it cool is the fact that the crowd was really into it, and we're talking about it's the trios title here, right? And the crowd was into everything, and they loved when Kenny Omega and whatever his name is in AEW, Tommy Black, Malachi Black, right?
Yeah.
When they were going at each other, the crowd was like going nuts. They were like, "This is awesome," and they were just standing in the ring, and it was cool. And another spot that I really loved was these little things I like about wrestling. So Matt Jackson and Brody King are facing off, right? And Matt is scared shitless. So he goes to try to tag his brother Nick, and Nick was like, "Nope. Nope, it's on you. It's all you." It was great. It was really cool. I loved it. Very entertaining. Because we had like a technical wrestling match in the main event that was over an hour, sudden death and all that stuff. But this was like it was very fun and entertaining and agile and athletic and lots of, lot of moves and stuff like that. But it was really good. It was well done. I thought it was good. But the thing is, now where do you go with the trios title?
I mean, like, honestly, like, even with a good, I think that from what you're telling me, that 6-man match, it didn't like. They don't really need the trios titles. They can have good 6-man matches like that. I always forget about the trios titles because I feel like that's the thing they just have because, well, ROH has it, and I think New Japan has it, right? New Japan has trios titles, yeah. So I think, we'll have trios titles. I'm like, because like you already have a lot of belts, but that's another thing. Like, although I didn't see the match, that moment you described to me with the Bucks, it sounds funny because I remember like I've always enjoyed their nonverbal actions, like their little nonverbal moments. Usually when they were heels and they were talking a lot, I was like, oh god, because I loved it when they were baby faces because they like they didn't have to be super verbal like that. That's what you have like other guys for in that group, like Adam Cole or like even Omega, but. Yeah, no, like I'll probably check that out. Even though that's one match I missed.
I guess what you can do, at least for the next program, you can do the Lucha Brothers and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black. You could do that, even though the Death Triangle, the other Lucha Brothers group with Pac, they failed with the Elite. So. Listen, it'll be good. The only thing I can say is that, okay, we can have, that'll probably be entertaining, but it's long term, as far as the longevity of the 6-man title, I don't really see anything from it because what are you going to do? Just get 3 guys together? You could.
That's what they're doing. Putting Mark Briscoe with the Lucha Brothers?
There's a lot you can do, but I'm kind of with you on that. It's like, we don't really need this. We don't really need it, honestly. But anyway,
one thing you can do that you don't need the trio titles for? FTR and Punk versus the Elite.
You could do that.
That would
be great.
Like, in fact, not only would that kind of help put shit to bed, at least, like who wouldn't want to see that? Like the promos would be good, definitely on Punk and FTR's part. I mean, that's a match that sells itself, and you don't need the trio titles for that.
No. But speaking of which, we're jumping around the card. FTR came back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But they're fighting the Ass Brothers, which is like, yo, I gotta tell you one thing. I completely forgot that the Ass Brothers won the titles. I'm thinking, wait, what is this for? Oh, wait, what are they? Oh, that's right, they're champions. I'm like, where the hell did the AEW tag titles go? I completely forgot that they beat the Acclaim. And the Acclaim, that's the thing. The Ass Brothers, whatever, they came out with the belts. And first, mind you, the Acclaim came out last. And the reception that the Acclaim got, it's like they were the freaking champions. Like, you might as well, when the Ass Brothers were carrying those belts out there, you might as well have sent those belts out on a dolly and pushed it down the ramp. Like, the crowd would have had the same reaction.
But you know what? Now that FTR is back, guess what? I really want to see FTR beat the living shit out of the Ass.
Yeah, just squash him.
It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that.
It's not the storybook ending that I pictured. Years ago, I thought, at least a year ago, I thought, okay, FTR had every title but the AEW tag titles. I guess now they can find one good silver lining out of this is that they can finally get the one pair of tag titles that has escaped them literally until now. So
they've been AEW tag team champions.
FTR? No, yeah. You know what I mean? Like when I remember that, but like when they had when they're on that run, when they had every belt every tag belt in the business, but that. Right. Now they can finally get it again.
Texas Death, Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page. What do you think?
This is good. This is very good. Like, I still think it's a little silly when Hangman literally ties the barbed wire around his hand, and I'm like, oh come on. But I don't know. That didn't get in the way of I've said this before. When Hangman and Moxley have a match like this, it's great. It's gonna be good every time. This didn't disappoint. And I've talked to you about this. I do enjoy listening to Jim Cornette's show. And there are a lot of things I disagree with him about. One thing in particular, this guy has it in his head that Logan Paul does the buckshot lariat better than Hangman. I'm like, listen, I can say a lot about Page, but one of the things he does really well is that finish. And I don't know, you must be on some sort of dope for thinking that Logan Paul does that better than him, because man,
it's hard for me to have an opinion on somebody else's opinion, but that buckshot lariat is probably one of the best finishers in wrestling right now.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, yeah.
Great.
Well, it's just great. It just looks great every time, like every freaking time.
But I thought this Texas Death Match was outstanding. I thought it was so bloody, it was so violent, but it needed this. Moxley didn't just want to beat Hangman in a wrestling match, right? He really wanted to definitively beat him by way of Abdullah the Butcher with the fork. So, it got to that point, but Hangman went to Moxley's level because he had to do that in order to beat him, which he did, and decisively. And I thought the finish was outstanding. He had the chain and he threw him over the ropes and he kind of hung him a little bit, and Moxley just tapped immediately. That was great.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable to see, but it kind of made sense for this match.
Hangings on but
it kind of made sense for this kind of match though.
Yeah.
Because remember Moxley's promo is like he essentially said that you have to kill me. You know what I mean? And he damn near did. It was really, maybe Renee was probably uncomfortable watching this, but I thought it was it was perfect. It was a perfect like ending to this story. And very curious.
John Moxley probably he probably blades like on himself at home regularly, so she's probably used to this. She's probably like, oh, he's bleeding again. Yeah, he's fine. He's all right.
Yeah, it was almost like this match was great. It was almost like 2 years ago with Kenny Omega and John Moxley in the Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match, because Kenny Omega is not a deathmatch guy. He had to go to Moxley's level. He had to bring out the inner FMW Big Japan.
Yeah, he built the bomb. They let him build the bomb by himself.
Yeah, we saw how that worked out. But I think about that finish to that Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match.
Yeah,
I'm about to buy the DVD just for that. That ending was just great.
It's like I think I've said it's like on our preview show for this. I was not a fan of the program between Moxley and Hangman going into this, but this match kind of it kind of like helped rectify that. I knew like when I was watching Hangman saying like, oh, I don't know my son's name anymore. I'm like, okay, their match is gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. The match is gonna be good at least, right? But I was really enjoying this. This is awesome.
Yeah. TNT title match.
There was one spot where like Heyman got he got thrown over the top rope and like landed into like a barbed wire table. But the thing is, the only part of him that hit the table was the back of his head. So I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was a little awkward, but hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
TNT title match. Samoa Joe, Wardlow.
Oh. I was more surprised at Wardlow choking out Samoa Joe than I was MJF tapping out Bryan Danielson. It was like, okay, MJF, he needed to fight Danielson for an hour to get to that point. Like I was a little like, wait, oh shit, Wardlow's choking out Joe? Okay. Damn, all right. That's one way. Does he look any different to you without his ponytail? I forgot that he got his ponytail cut off.
No, I didn't notice it. It's part of the story. That was kind of part of the story. But Wardlow kind of needed to win, based on the story they were telling. Because, Joe took off the ponytail, and his hair meant a lot to him. It was connection to his father and all this stuff. But, definitely it was good. It was good. Definitely curious to see Will Hobbs versus Wardlow. That is something.
Yeah.
That's going to be something. You think Will Hobbs wins this one, or they kind of play it out and play the long game with this one? Not the long game, but like they kind of, maybe like the next pay-per-view, maybe a few weeks or maybe a month or two, they, But if you ask me, I'd say pull the trigger right now. But Wardlow can stand to lose quickly. Yeah.
Give Hobbs a good title reign because we've seen Hobbs live. He's the potential he has. It's been a long time. I'm hoping Hobbs wins their next confrontation. For that title.
They were doing all these vignettes for him, so I think he can. It's okay to have a surprise, shocking, quick, title change.
Yeah, I think kill the guy.
Well, if you do it every now and then, I think it'll be fine. Because when you look at wrestling stars of the past, if you're gonna sit here and rate their credibility on their title reigns, you're going to be very disappointed because Mick Foley, he's one of the biggest, most influential wrestlers of the past 25 years, and his title reigns weren't shit. Neither was Steve Austin, except for like the Alliance when he won after WrestleMania 17. His title reign lasted all the way until freaking September when he lost to Kurt Angle. But most of his title reigns weren't anything. They were really quick. But anyway, it's
like Eddie Guerrero, right? Like Eddie Guerrero, he had a great title. He didn't have that great of a title reign, which he blames himself for, which is most people say is bullshit. It wasn't his fault.
Because the business was down and he thought I'm the champion, so it's my fault.
Which is sad. But the thing is, not only did everybody love him, how that belt looked around him, he looked and carried himself like a freaking champion. He's only been wrestling at that point. He was only wrestling for like multiple decades. But no one will ever forget how he beat Brock Lesnar at No Way Out.
Nope, you won't forget that.
Which was one of the reasons why I thought Sammy was going to beat Roman at Elimination Chamber. Because like, wait a minute. No, they did this before. They could do it again. But anyway, you're right. Like the title reign, like Christian had the World Heavyweight title for like what it felt like 2 seconds. But I do remember he had a badass match with Randy Orton. And I do remember him winning that title, at least,
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the women's title match. So the angle that they did, because the story going into this was Ruby was indecisive because she's friends with Saraya because of, what was it? The Riot Squad or Absolution or whatever. Was she in that?
No, I think no, Ruby was in the Riot Squad. Like she wasn't in Absolution.
She had her own crew.
Yeah, like
got it. Well, she's friends with Saraya. She's friends with Saraya, right? So she was conflicted because she became cool with, had to earn Britt's trust, and she got cool with Jamie Hayter, and she's kind of split. But this time around, she made her choice. So she joined Saraya, Toni Storm, and them. So this is probably going to lead to Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and the mystery third woman versus Ruby Soho, Toni Storm, and Saraya. So who do you think the third woman's going to be?
Oh, the third one, like
the third woman on the babyface side.
Oh,
yeah. Who's going to be with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter?
Shida?
Could do that.
Shida or Riho? Because Riho just wrestled Toni Storm recently.
Yep.
It could be Shida or Riho. You see, here's the thing, like, this turn didn't really resonate with me at first, because I was just like, or it didn't really, like, not that I hated it, it was just like, wait, she turned? Like, I completely forgot that Britt Baker was a face. So when she was beating up Britt Baker, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, she's beating up a heel, right? Oh wait, no wait. Oh wait, like Britt Baker's the face, so she just turned heel. Okay, because I don't know, like I feel like heel turns happen a lot more frequently nowadays. So it's like it doesn't. I don't remember the last time a heel turn shocked me, like other than when Finn Balor came back to NXT and cracked Johnny Gargano's Coglione. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was cool. Like I'm looking forward to their future matches, but I just like at first I was confused, like them calling, like saying that Ruby turned. I just forgot Britt. I'm so used to Britt being a heel that I don't, it's hard to have sympathy, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. So main event, MJF, Bryan Danielson, 60 minutes. And what a match this was. This was one of the most enticing 60-minute Ironman matches that I've ever seen. And I know Bryan Danielson and Hangman went an hour, but it wasn't an Ironman match. They just went the time limit for a title match. And that was remarkable as well. But
it wasn't Ironman. They scored multiple pinfalls.
No, Hangman and Danielson. I don't think that was an Ironman match.
No. Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about MJF and Danielson.
They went to a draw. No,
yeah,
they
had
didn't go to
two
a
60-minute matches in a row. Like those weren't Ironman matches. Like
no. Yeah, the first match they went an hour, and then the second match, Hangman beat Danielson decisively
in
30 minutes. In an hour?
I think it was about 45. Minutes. It was about 45.
The second match I think was like over 30. It wasn't an hour yet. But anyway.
Yeah, it was like about 40 something. But like the first time they went an hour, it was kind of cool because like they were just wrestling, and then it eventually everyone realized, oh wait, they're gonna go an hour. Holy shit! Like, but this was At first, I was a little like, "Oh, are people like? I hope people are gonna like, have the patience. I hope like this fan base will have the patience for a 60-minute Ironman match." Oh, wait a minute, it's freaking Bryan Danielson and MJF, like, and they didn't disappoint one bit at all.
They lucked out with an amazing crowd because again, the show was almost 5 hours
Likes
long.
wrestling.
Yeah, and the program was great. The two people in it were great, and the show was great overall. So the crowd was pretty energetic throughout most of the show, and I thought this match was tremendous. It was good wrestling. Really, it really showcased Bryan Danielson as to why he's considered one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Definitely,
in case anyone needed a reminder.
In case, you needed a reminder, yeah. But he's, my God. You know what he is? This match proved that since he lost, right? He's kind of what Shawn Michaels was when Shawn Michaels returned in 2002.
Yeah.
Because when Shawn Michaels returned for the second time, he was having some of the best matches of his life. And he lost a lot of them. But you just remember the match. You remember his performance so well. It didn't matter that he lost. Like Bryan Danielson here, one, he's proven. He's done it all. He lost here, but his performance was so outstanding. I didn't really care that he lost. I mean, because MJF is such a, I cared that he lost because MJF is such a fucking despicable bastard that you beating him and you beating most people's favorite wrestler, right? It was kind of like, damn it. But
yeah, he tapped him out too. Like, damn.
Yeah, shit. He was so good that it was like, okay, he was so great and his performance was so good. It's like, okay, yeah, you lost, but man, the fans were still behind you. And that's the one thing MJF, in character cannot take away. Like, people still love this guy, even though he lost, but they don't like regardless. You could be the world champion, you could beat the favorite, but they ain't gonna care about you like they care about him. You know what I mean? It was cool. It was really good.
I always complain about a lack of selling in wrestling nowadays. These two sold their Danielson sold his shoulder, MJF sold his knee. They sold for an hour. So I see a lot of wrestlers struggle to sell, or just shoot. They struggle to sell for 5 minutes. These guys sold for an hour.
Yeah, you know what made this match cool was the fact that it was simple. They did wrestling, they exchanged holds, and they didn't do a lot of stuff. And, there's a time and place to do a lot of stuff. But here, it didn't call for that. It didn't make sense to do that. And it wouldn't play to any of their strengths at all. But what made this story so cool is that MJF has been critical of people in character, has been critical of people who do a lot of moves, right? He tried to do some moves. He tried that moonsault from the rope and missed completely, and he messed up his knee, right? And yeah, and it didn't work out well for him. Well, at the end he did because he won, but he tried to do some shit.
Moonsault? I thought he was
he did
a certain move to dance and he landed on his knee.
That too, but he did a moonsault and he missed, and he landed on his knee, and he was favoring his knee. So he tried to do some extra shit, and it didn't work out for him. It was good. I liked the way he did that. It was great.
No, like Danielson literally one of the craziest one of the parts of the match where I thought he beat MJF. It was off a reverse Frankensteiner an hour into the match.
It's flawless.
And everyone was like, Jesus Christ! Everyone thought he was about to win with a reverse Frankensteiner. You know how we see how often people do reverse Frankensteiners now, and usually do them wrong. They did it an hour into the match. These guys are exhausted, and they flawlessly executed amazing shit an hour into the match, like a freaking tombstone off the freaking top rope. Oh my God, they can even tease a tombstone onto the apron. MJF. I'm like, oh, it's just the way they would tease things. The simplicity of it, the way they would tease things and then pay it off in in crazy ways later. This was this is a classic. I know I hate when people say things like that early, but this is like a classic Ironman match.
There's a few matches that I can think of, that I can show to a non-wrestling fan and not have to explain anything. I don't
this is one of those matches.
Yeah, this and Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom. Those are two matches like recently that. Oh, and Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Those three matches, three matches, you can show to someone who doesn't watch wrestling and they'd be like, damn, you don't have to.
FTR and the Briscoes.
Yeah. You could.
Both of those matches, you can show them to people and be like, what the holy shit? Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And the last like 10 minutes of this, 5-10 minutes of this, man, like when they were about to go to reach the time limit, they were just kind of pulling all the stops out. And I love how when we hit the 60-minute, MJF held it as long as he could, and then he tapped out right after that. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And then they went to sudden death, and Tony Schiavone was like, no. Tony Khan said this is gonna be a winner. Nope, keep going, sudden death. And it was phenomenal. And MJF using the oxygen because it was just wow. It was
that was incredible. No, it goes back to selling. They had to get a fucking oxygen tank on him.
Yeah, you usually don't see that in America.
Holy shit!
Like, in Japan they put the ice packet on you, but here they brought out the ox.
Like in a boxing match, like like they put ice packs like on the back of your head. Like I love how New Japan does that.
They put the oxygen on. Bryan Danielson didn't want it because he's a tough son of a bitch, right? And MJF being the coward, not the guy. He's like he took it, and then he used the tank to eventually win the match, and it was very defeating, but it was just a great story, and just why I like wrestling. And wrestling today too. Like we have phenomenal. There's so many good people, and I'm glad that Bryan Danielson and MJF had this moment, and it was just I'm never gonna forget it. And this is one of the best AEW shows in quite some time, and it's probably one of the best pay-per-views of the year so far. Even though we're
I'm happy Danielson got a main event.
A
great main event on a freaking pay-per-view.
If Punk was the ace, he's 1A, but. Anyway, this was a phenomenal show. Oh, you wanted to talk about the MJF, the post-match show scrum, the media scrum. Yeah.
Yeah, watch the Nisa Sato's coverage of it. She gets the best angles, like best audio. And she answers a question too. And oh my God, it really reminded me how big of a CM Punk fan MJF is. Because he was doing a lot of things that people say, oh, he's making fun of him. Like, no, like, they say imitation is the best form of flattery. I'm like, oh man, this guy loves CM Punk so much. He misses him. He probably wants to wrestle him right now. He said his name too. He's like, yeah, he was listing people that he beat. And he said his name. It was great. You should watch it. I was literally watching it as you started the session. Wow. Like, yeah, I'm really it was only part of the media scrum that I watched because those things can go on for long. But
what else did he say? He just named people that he beat.
I'm not doing justice. He went up to Dave Meltzer's face and yelled at him. And Dave, he kept saying things like, right, Dave? Isn't that right, Dave? And Dave would just be like, yes.
Because Dave Meltzer is not going to engage with you when you're in character. Because years ago, MJF went up to Dave and said, I'm always going to be on. That's why MJF is not on Observer Radio, because he's always going to be in character, right? He'll be on let's say if he goes on Observer Live, I think he was on the Brian and Vinny Christmas show one year, but he's always going to be on. Always going to be. But to that end, so you remember?
Yeah. He kept saying sport. That's the thing. He made it feel real. I completely forgot he was being in character because it felt like, oh, I'm watching an actual press conference. Like this guy, like that. He's one of the few people that takes it that seriously. I love that.
The one thing I would say about the Ironman match is, so when MJF, he was stalling in the beginning, right? And he looked in the camera and said, am I going to lose a star, Dave? I might not win the Bryan Danielson award. It reminded me of Hogan when he did Observe This Brother in WCW. Because, yes, the AEW fans are more inside. They are more inside. But there's a lot of people who don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I think they should avoid. People who
watch AEW know who Dave Meltzer is.
Not everyone. The Wrestling Observer newsletter is an insider newsletter, right? And it's not mass appeal. So not everyone knows what the hell you're talking
fans,
about.
Like who watch, like aren't most of the hardcore AEW fans like know about insider shit though?
Not everyone though. Some of them more AEW than WWE, but not everybody knows what the hell you're talking about. They don't. So don't do that. No one cares about like really. Think about the general public. The general public watching the show, they don't know what you're talking about. You lose a star rating. No one knows what the fuck you're talking about. No, like, some might, not everyone.
Like say call what you do a sport. Do that. Say things like that. But yeah, I agree. Like don't like another thing. Like you remember how some people used to say promo on TV. I'm like, fuck you.
That kind of gets on my nerve.
Fuck you.
That's why I love. Remember last year, right before Revolution last year, Eddie Kingston and Jericho had a promo segment, right? They had an interview. Jericho says, "I thought you would be a great babyface," and then Eddie Kingston says the best line ever. Quotes, "What's a babyface?" That's it. He won. Yeah, that's the bet. Like, that's like you really like. And then he said in another interview, he was like, "I know kayfabe is dead, but do we gotta kick? Piss on the grave? I love that. Eddie Kingston's the greatest. He's a gem.
We were talking about who. Wait. Were we talking about who should face MJF next?
Yeah,
Eddie Kingston should be on that fucking list.
I'm glad you brought that up because, I don't know if you heard him on Mark Maron's podcast. He was talking.
MJF was on Mark Maron's podcast, or Kingston?
MJF was, and Eddie Kingston was. There was separate interviews. What? Yeah, he did a whole. Yeah,
I forgot he loves wrestling. Thing. Yeah, I forgot.
No. He's not a wrestling fan, but his producer is a wrestling fan, and his producer was educating him on wrestling. And Mark Maron got interested, and he went to his first Dynamite in LA, and he loved it. And he interviewed a bunch of wrestlers, and he interviewed Eddie Kingston and MJF. And when he was talking to Eddie Kingston was talking sly about MJF, and maybe there'll be a match between them. Those promos would be unbelievable.
Like why? Yeah. Why shouldn't that happen? That's what I'm asking. Why shouldn't that happen?
Yeah.
And the thing is, during the media scrum, he was saying like, I think he was asked, who would you want to face down the line? And he started rattling off about a lot of people, and Kingston was on. He called it quote, "Eddie Kingston is a crybaby bitch." Like yo,
I'm just saying, as a wrestling fan, you up.
Yeah, as a wrestling fan, why wouldn't you want that match to happen?
Remember CM Punk and Eddie Kingston? They were talking real, they were talking shit to each other. I was there live. That was one of the most violent wrestling matches I've ever seen in the flesh. They beat the piss out of each other. So imagine what Eddie Kingston and MJF's gonna do. And MJF, because Eddie Kingston is not going to go out there and try to wrestle you. Maybe the first 2 minutes. Then he's going to start throwing them fists and the Kobashi chops. So you got to be. Yeah,
he's not going to like lock up with you. Like, and that'll be a good change of pace. You had the freaking Ironman, super amazing wrestling match. Now it's time to get your ass beat by like a real one, Eddie Kingston. That would be a great story. Like, why? And I think MJF is like, a preppy. Like, I mean, MJF did talk about like all the prep he did, like the cardio he did for that's saying this guy really makes it sound like a sport. He talked about all the preparation that he actually did for this match. Like you saw how like he looked great, like he looked incredible. Like but this like a feud with Eddie Kingston, that is like top of what I want to see next on the and Adam Cole. Yeah, he talks shit about Adam Cole too.
There you go. Yeah. Well, he's like one of the hottest baby faces right now in AEW. So that's something to do. MJF is the the top heel, and Adam Cole's definitely one of the most popular baby faces right now. But anyway, we've been on here too long, but I briefly want to talk about Battle in the Valley, especially Jay White and Eddie Kingston.
I didn't get a chance to see that.
Loser leaves Japan, and they told a really good story. And because Eddie Kingston didn't think that, Jay White took New Japan seriously, and all this stuff. And when it was all said and done, they kind of had a mutual respect for each other in the match or whatever. And it was really good the way they did it. And it was almost like not a double turn. It was Jay White kind of turned a little bit, turned babyface a little bit. And David Finlay came out and beat the shit out of him, and because he was leaving, and yeah, it was really good. It was very interesting to see what's going to happen next. I don't know where Jay White's going to end up. All signs probably point to AEW, but then you don't know, because AEW has a lot going on right now, and so does WWE. But I, especially with Forbidden Door coming around, definitely see Jay White in AEW. I don't know. What do you think?
Jay White AEW, like what? That guy would fit in AEW. He would fit in WWE. Like at this point, like someone should sign him soon. Because I don't know if he's going to MLW. I don't think he's going to. He definitely isn't going to Impact. So it's either AEW or WWE. Like
he was an Impact with the Bullet Club.
Oh, he was, wasn't he?
But yeah, he should get more money, especially after that performance, and a bigger TV platform, because he headlined the Garden with Okada and knocked it out of the park. Yeah. So if you didn't see that, go see that. New Japan in the Valley and Revolution. You got to see that. It was unbelievable. Mercedes, Moné, and Kyrie, they worked really hard. But the thing is, that show was long, and at least watching it, not being in the arena, just watching it on, TV and whatever, I couldn't hear the crowd all that well. But, Mercedes came off as a big star, and they treated her like a big star, and they had a really good match. My favorite match was Eddie Kingston and Jay White. That was unbelievable. Go see that. But yeah, I mean, New Japan is definitely, getting some more momentum now, because now they're, they did very successful show, in San Jose. So hopefully, they come around to New York City again and do something big or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Arriaga.
And you can follow us on the socials. The Wrestling Caucus on Instagram and Wrestling Caucus on Twitter is where we are most active. And we'll be back next month, April, to talk WrestleMania.
Both nights, right?
Both nights.
Yeah.
Both nights. All right. Later days.